Nepheli is an NPC in Elden Ring and has one of the first major questlines that can be completed involving both Kenneth Haight and Gatekeeper Gostoc, all of which will be covered in this video. As usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. To start things off, we'll want to meet and speak with both Gatekeeper Gostoc and Nepheli before defeating Godric the Grafted. Gatekeeper Gostoc will be found in a chamber to the left of the Stormveil main gate site of Grace. Next up is Nepheli. From the Secluded cell site of Grace, head out the southeast exit past a giant and some guards. To the right of the Erd Tree sapling is an entrance to a small chamber, and inside you'll find Nepheli standing over a corpse. Speak with her and go through all of her dialogue until she agrees to help with a battle against Godric. You'll then need to defeat Godric the Grafted, and now you'll have the option of summoning Nepheli to assist you, but it isn't required. After defeating Godric, make sure to discover and rest at the site of Grace. Gostoc should appear nearby and you'll want to speak through all of his dialogue options. If you kill Gostoc, you should still be able to complete Nepheli's questline, but you will miss out on one of the major rewards, so I don't recommend doing it. After speaking to Gostoc, head to Roundtable Hold. Nepheli should be standing by a table in the library near Gideon's room. If she isn't there for you, make sure to speak through all of Gideon's dialogue, then rest at the Table of Lost Grace and she should show up. Speak with Nepheli and go through all of her dialogue. If you spoke with her before defeating Godric, she should give you the Arsenal Charm Talisman at this point. Keep speaking with her and she'll eventually say that she's leaving. You'll next find Nepheli in Liurnia at the village of the Albinaurics, sitting on the sloped path that leads to the site of Grace for the village. Speak through all of her dialogue and then make your way through the village. You'll find an Omenkiller boss near the end of the village. After killing it, you may need to return to Nepheli and speak through all of her dialogue in order for her to move on. I recommend checking to see if Nepheli is still at her spot in Albinauric village after defeating the Omenkiller and resting at a site of Grace. If she's still there, speak with her more to ensure you've exhausted all dialogue options, then rest at a site of Grace again and make sure she's moved on. You'll then find Nepheli at her next location in Roundtable Hold. Specifically, head down the staircase near Hugh the Smith and she should be sitting nearby. When you try speaking to her, she'll say that she needs more time, so instead go talk to her father Gideon. You'll want to ask Gideon about Nepheli's despair. Now this is a potentially crucial part of the quest. If you haven't met Seluvis yet and you don't have Seluvis' potion, you should be able to continue Nepheli's quest normally and can skip to the next timestamp. However, if you have met Seluvis, then he likely gave you a potion to give Nepheli as part of his own questline. Seluvis' questline is a topic for another video, but be warned that giving Seluvis' potion to Nepheli will prevent completion of her quest. You can instead give the potion to Dung at a certain point in his questline, which will similarly prevent that quest's completion, or, and I think this is the best option, you can show the potion to Gideon and give it to him for safe disposal, which will not prevent completion of any questline, but will cause you to miss out on a unique, although arguably trivial reward. I'll have a link to my guide for the Seluvis questline in this video's description if you want to know more before continuing on. Assuming you either gave the potion to Gideon or Dung, we can continue on with Nepheli's quest. The two main requirements for continuing Nepheli's quest at this point are first, making sure that Roderika is able to tune spirits. If you are this far along Nepheli's quest and Roderika still can't tune spirits, you should be able to speak to Hugh about Roderika, then to Roderika about what Hugh said, and then to Hugh once more about Roderika. When you leave and return to Roundtable Hold, you should find Roderika in the same room as Hugh, and she should now be able to tune spirits. The second requirement is to have the Stormhawk King key item. To get this, you'll need to make your way over to the 4 belfries in western Liurnia, high up on a hill. You'll also need an imbued sword key. One can be found in a chest next to the 4 belfry site of grace, a second can be found in Rea Lucaria Academy, and a third can be found at the town of Celia in Caelid. Use the key to activate the eastmost belfry, then take the portal to where it all began, the Chapel of Anticipation. You'll need to defeat the Grafted Scion there, then continue on to the chapel. There's a side door near the chapel that was closed the last time we were here. It's open now, and you can head through it to find the Stormhawk King ashes, and the Stormhawk Dean's ashes are also nearby. With that done, return to Nepheli at Roundtable Hold and speak through all of her dialogue. You should eventually have the option to give her the Stormhawk King ashes. Do so and continue speaking with her until she has nothing new to say. And this is the last interaction you'll need to have with Nepheli before she moves to her final location. But in order for that to actually happen, you'll need to complete 2 more steps. First, you'll need to defeat Morgott the Omen King at the Elden Throne in Leyndell Royal Capital. If you're not sure how to access Leyndell, you'll first need to acquire 2 of the Great Runes, then defeat the boss guarding the entrance on the north side of the capital. The second requirement for completing Nepheli's questline is to complete at least some of, if not all of, Kenneth Haight's quest. You can find him in Limgrave, a short distance north-northeast of the Mistwood Outskirts site of grace, standing atop some ruins. Speak with him and he'll eventually ask you to take back control of Fort Haight, which is a fair distance to the southeast, on the other side of the Mistwood. I believe you'll need to specifically defeat the Knight Commander up on the fort wall, the one that drops the Bloody Slash Ash of War. Return to Kenneth at his location and speak through all of his dialogue. He'll give you the Erd Steel Dagger and upon further interaction, ask you to enter his service. Agree and he'll move on to his next location, which is at Fort Haight, in the same spot as that Knight Commander. Upon arrival at the fort, you'll notice that it was overrun by demi-humans. Defeat them and then find Kenneth atop the fortress wall. Speak through all of his dialogue and you should be ready to finish up Nepheli's quest. Travel to the Godric the Grafted site of grace and make sure to rest at that site of grace after spawning in. If all the steps in this video were completed, this should trigger the arrival of Nepheli, Gatekeeper Gostoc, and Kenneth Haight at the throne room to the northwest. Head over and speak with Nepheli to resolve her questline and receive an Ancient Drag Smithing Stone for your efforts. You can also speak with Gostoc and acquire a second Ancient Drag Smithing Stone in exchange for 20,000 runes. Speak with Kenneth and he'll proclaim that he has chosen Nepheli to be the ruler of Limgrave and that he'll eventually return to Fort Haight, where he'll raise you to the glory of knighthood, which I imagine will actually happen in a future patch of the game. If you gave Seluvis' potion to Nepheli, you'll have to wait until New Game Plus to fully complete Nepheli's questline. The same goes for if you defeated Malekith in the Crumbling Fair Missoula. Outside of those 2 actions, if you are still having issues with this quest, then feel free to reach out in the comments section and also check my pinned comment, as I'll do my best to update it with helpful information about specific problems and potential fixes. If you want to see more great guides, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Friday, and a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.